All right, let's see. What if this time you have a data that was grouped, right, into classes like these? Okay, so this is like time spent on the internet. So 31 to 40 minutes. Okay, number of student, frequency here 5, and 41 to 50, 30 people, 51 to 60, 40 people, 61 to 70, 15 people. Now my question is, I want to find all these: mean, mode, Q1, Q2, Q3, and IQR, right? So what should I do here? Okay, let's start with a very simple one. Let's find the mean first. So what I'm going to do is I will write out a thing called mid-interval. So find the midpoint here, right? So add these two divided by 2. So I'm just going to say, I'll just write this real quick so you see how I did it. Divided by 2, you will get that. Okay, so you write it here. So do the same for all. Find the mid interval. This is very important. Okay, the next is number of frequency. Here, how many student? 5. So you put 5 in here. So this you copy. I will call this table as, okay, let me just write this. I will call this as X. I will call this as F, frequency, right? And then I'll do this. I'll say this is F multiplied by X. So multiply these two. So 35.5 times 5. Okay, then 30 times 45.5. Just multiply all out. Okay, now here if you add all this, you get the sum of the total number of students. So you make another table for the sum. All right, do the same thing here, and then you add all this and get the sum here as well. So this will be called as the sum of frequency, where this will be called as the sum of frequency times X. Okay, so how do I find the mean? The mean is simply the sum of frequency times the midpoint, this value, divided by the frequency itself. Okay, so the mean that I'm getting is here. The value of the mean is 52.7. See, so I just take the value here, 4,745 divided by 90. So I'm getting 52.7. All right, so you can see the value of the mean here, which is 52.7 minutes. All right, moving on. How about the mode? The mode is straightforward. Just look at the one with the highest frequency. In this case, here. So this is the model class. So you can say that the model class is 51 to 60 minutes because the frequency is the highest. So you have 40 people in there. All right, let's see this. Now here is the fun part. How do you find Q1, Q2, Q3, and IQR? All right. This is 5. You make another table called CF, cumulative frequency. Okay, then just fill this in. 5 and add these 2, you get 35. Add these 3, you get 75, and then add them all, right? So here I made another table. I call this as cumulative frequency. Now I want to find the position. So what I'll do is, keep in mind, use this only when data are given in classes. Okay, this is the trick. Take this number. You want to find the position of Q1. So take 90 times 0.25. This is the position of your Q1. Okay, so this is 22.5 position. Then Q2, 0.5 times 90, you get the 45th position. Then Q3, 0.75 times 90, this is 67.5th position. Always remember, okay, as I told you, Q1 is the 25th percentile, Q2 is the 50th percentile, Q3 is the 75 or 75th percentile. Okay, all right, let's see, what do I do next? This is the method we are going to use. Again, interpolation. Okay, let's start with the first one. So I know that Q1 will be on the 22.5 position, right, which is in this quadrant, in this class. So again, I'm going to just draw this out, and then I'm going to say this is the 22.5th position. This is my Q1, right? And the value is on the between the 5th position and the 35th position. So write it here. Okay, how about the value of Q1, the gap between these two, right? Take the gap between these two, which is 40.5, and the gap between the next two here, yeah, the gap between these two is 50.5. Okay, then here, see, this is what I just told you. Same value here, first set, and this for the 35th. Again, you take the ratio. So from this to this over this to that. Same here, from this to this over this to that. So I'm just going to write here A is equals to 22.5 minus 5. B is 35 minus 5. X is Q1 minus 40.5. Y is 50.5 minus 40.5. Okay, I'm writing all this out. Cross multiply. So simplify this and cross multiply that. You will get the value of Q1 out as here, 46.33. Okay, this is how you find Q1. Then we move on to find Q2. Okay, now I'm going to teach you how to find Q2. Again, I told you take 0.5 times the total frequency. You get on the 45th position. See, this is the 35th position. So 45th is in here, in this class. So again, you write out the numbers. So write this out. This 35th, you write here. And the gap between these two is 50.5, right? The mid intervals. Then you write the 45th or the median position and Q2 for the value. Okay. Now finally you write 75th position here. And the mid interval here, right, is 60.5, right? 60.5. Then again you subtract these two. Okay, take the ratio. Same thing, see? So this over this equals this over that. See? So what I'm doing now is I will now cross multiply the value up. Okay, so if you simplify this, you will get 2.5 and move 50.5 this side. You get a Q2 of 53. Okay, this is using interpolation. Okay, for Q2. So now we have Q1 and Q2. Let's find Q3. So Q3 is on the 75th percentile times with 90. You get 67.5. Okay, so what I want you to do is look at the position. This is 35th, this is 75th. Again, it's in the same interval here. So take this and write the same. You draw this up. You're looking for Q3, right? So you write Q3 on which position? 67.5. And this is 35, right? 35th here. And this is 75th. Okay, and the mid for 35th is 50.5. Right? The mid interval between these two. And the mid interval between 60 and 61 is 60.5. Then you take the ratio. Okay? All right. Again, now I'm going to write the ratio values out here. So I'm saying that A over B is equals to X over Y. Right? Then you write out the value of A over B and X over Y. Again, now you cross multiply. Just cross this guy up or cancels the 0 out. Divide it. You get this. And move this guy on the other side. So I'm getting the value of my Q3. This is Q3, yeah? As 58.6. Okay? All right, moving on. Now, how do I find IQR? Just take the value of Q3 minus Q1. Q3 we just found here. This is Q3. So write 58.6 minus Q1, 46.3. Okay, Q1 is here. Q1 we found from here, yeah? So this is Q1, 40 46.33. Okay. You can take 1 decimal point or 2 decimal point, it's fine. Okay. But in this case, I'm taking 1 dp, 1 decimal point. So this is my IQR. Then finally, I can ask you to plot me the box and whisker. So the minimum value here is 31. So write that out, the min. The maximum value here given to you is 70, right? This is max. And then write the value of Q1, which is 46.3, Q2, which is 53, Q3, which is 58.6, right?